This is RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy. Hey guys, so today we are bringing you our final predictions for the Galaxy Note 8. Now with this device here, we have covered a lot. We've broken news as it's been released, showed you the press images as we see here, and really with it, now we just have to find out when is everything happening and what will it have. So these are my final predictions, including my very sad ones, because this phone will not have everything that I want. That being said, I'm pre-ordering it day one and I am definitely buying it. So we'll see how it goes. Alright, first and foremost, the announcement date. The day that this phone will be announced is August 23rd. If you did not know, you'll be able to see it on Samsung Mobile on YouTube. So if you just search Samsung Mobile on YouTube, it will be live stream right then and there. Now, what about the launch date? When can you actually have this in your hands? Well, that'll be September 15th. September 15th will actually be the launch date. And it's going to come in two colors, definitely. We don't know about the different colors and which regions yet. That we'll find out on the day of the announcement, which we will be covering that day. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and you'll find out everything that day on what you need to know about the device. Now, what about pre-orders? Pre-orders are really important because if you haven't done so before, Samsung pre-orders typically ship early. So if you order from T-Mobile, from Verizon, from Sprint, from AT&T, you actually get it shipped that week. So you might get it that Monday or that Tuesday. So when are you going to be able to pre-order it? Well, Samsung, in their great wisdom, looked at the calendar, saw my birthday is on a Friday, and they decided that's going to be the day, and that's the only reason why. So September 1st will be the day you can actually pre-order it. So really good thing to just hit it right away. Samsung, of course, is going to have some kind of discounts, whether it be a free memory card, free case is what we're hearing now. They've done free VRs in the past. There's always something that Samsung gives in order for you to get it. Sometimes even BOGO offers, but we'll see how that does. So that being said, that is the launch date. Now, what about the specs? Well, the specs are highly contested, but here's what we know for sure. Snapdragon 835, same processor that was on the S8. However, unlike the S8, this device is going to have 6 gigs of RAM. So a full 6 gigs of RAM on this device, which will help multitasking out a lot better, and it will be able to keep more apps running in the background without ever slowing down. Lastly, you're going to have 64 gigs of storage on board. Then you're going to go to the screen, a very highly contested display. So what are we going to have on this display? Well, you're going to have a 6.3-inch display coming with a 2K resolution. Yes, I know a lot of us wanted the 4K resolution, but it looks like this will have a 1440p display, just as the S8 had before it, so it will still have that. And like the S8, this will have HDR built into it. So as companies like Netflix, Amazon, and others upgrade their videos, you're actually going to see movies that were recorded in HDR have a much better quality color, vibrancy, and just you're going to be able to see things like you can't see on any other screen. Now, the biggest thing is 2 additions to the screen, and that is Force Touch Display, which honestly, who cares? Most people that I know that have iPhones, and me as well, never use it on an iPhone, so I don't think it's that big of a deal, but you have it there. Already you have the half press ability of Force Touch. You just don't feel it on the display as much, but you already have the half press ability on all over Android. That was included on Android 7.0, so we've had that for a while now, but it's just that now they're making it officially on the display so that it feels different. But the other thing that is a possibility, and I feel it will be true because Samsung promised a high multimedia device, and as of right now, if it didn't have this, then it wouldn't be a more multimedia device than the S8 was. So I say that yes, it will have a 120 Hz display refresh rate. Now, this started on the iPad Pro earlier this year, and a lot of people love how amazing it looks. Since Samsung makes a lot of the displays on the iPad Pro, they already obviously have the technology to do it. Now they need to factor that in with OLED instead of just an IPS panel like the iPad Pro has. But if they can do it, you're going to get an amazing looking display like no other. That being said, let's go to the big header, and that is the camera. The camera is one of the biggest parts of a smartphone. It's one of the main reasons we buy our smartphones, and it's one of the main deciding factors on why we buy this one versus that one. So what camera will this have? Well, this is going to have a dual camera setup, as you can see on the pictures here, and I believe it is going to be a 12 dual pixel camera. Now, dual pixels allow for much better focusing, lighting, just a whole lot more, and both of the cameras have dual pixels instead of just a standard megapixel technology. That being said, you're also going to have a 3 times optical zoom in that second camera. So it's going to be the first mainstream phone with 3 times zoom. I do not believe it's going to have the standard 2 times zoom that the OnePlus has, as well as the iPhone has. I believe there's too many things that have led in the direction of 3 times zoom for the first time, and on a flagship phone in the US, that you're going to have that. Speakers. This is one of my FML categories, because you're going to have a single down-firing speaker. There are rumors of the front of the earpiece having at least a tweeter, kind of like the iPhone and other phones have done. HTC, a lot of companies have done this. I don't have that much faith that that's going to happen, which is a shame because speakers continue to be the worst part of Samsung phones, and unfortunately this doesn't look like it'll be any different. That being said, the other FML category, battery. Battery will be 3,300 milliamps. This is a big deal because this is a smaller battery than the SA Plus. Now, Samsung will go on and on in their conference that they have optimized the ecosystem. They've really kind of taken back. And to be fair, they have done a lot to remove bloatware. You have a Samsung optimization now built into the phone. So you have something called Device Manager on almost every version of Samsung. I think Verizon's the only one that sometimes doesn't have it still, but every other version of Samsung has had this for at least the S8, and you can expect it to be on the Note 8. So you do have some optimization, but if you're telling me it's going to have a better battery life than the S8 Plus, I don't believe you. If you're telling me it'll have the same battery life as the S8 Plus, it's a possibility. Extras. So it's a Samsung phone. You can expect it to have the standard extras. It's going to have water resistance, IP68. It's going to have wireless charging, which I cannot live without. So wireless charging is the safest way to charge your phone overnight without it being damaged, and you can do it safely. It's not going to hurt your battery or cause any issues. It's going to have expandable storage. You can expand up to 256 gig memory card. Although, again, it will always support up to the 2 terabytes, but Samsung doesn't advertise that because no one uses it in standard use. And of course, the almighty S Pen. S Pen is something that I have missed for a very long time. I did have the Note 7. I loved it. I used it every single day, honestly, with my S Pen. And the S Pen I love because it highlights text like no other. It's great for that. And although Android 8.0, which comes out in October, and it will come out in December for the Note 8, I think it's really going to do a big change in how we highlight text. The S Pen is just the best way. It's literally like having a portable mouse, and I can't wait to see what new features they're going to add. Samsung always adds at least 2 or 3 new features to the S Pen, so you can expect them to add new ones, and we will find that out on August 23rd. Now, finally, what about the price point? Now, everyone's been worried about price point because the new iPhone is going to be priced at $1,069 at the starting price. So how about Samsung? What are they going to price this phone at? This phone will be priced between $920 and $1,020 depending on the carrier. Now, carriers, if you've never known, price phones differently because the phone is sold into the carrier and the carrier gets to decide what price point it's at. Some carriers will price it cheaper. Typically, T-Mobile and Sprint price the phone the cheapest, and typically AT&T and Verizon will built in more padding so they get a profit off of each phone sold. The cheapest carriers will start at around $920 and $940 is what hearing the rumor of Sprint and T-Mobile will be, whereas the other carriers will price it a bit higher. We are hearing from $960 to $980 all the way up to $1,000 and $1,020. Now this will be very curious because it'll be the first time a Samsung phone is over $1,000 in a little while. The last one I can remember was the Note Edge device, which was at AT&T for over $1,000 because, again, of their price increase. So let me know what you guys think. Is this the phone you're going to buy? Do you have your own or different predictions? Do you feel that these are not going to line up correctly? Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think in terms of how will this be priced out? Do you think this is what we're getting, or do you think we're getting something different? Let me know in the comment section down below. I, again, will be getting this phone day one, and we'll be covering it on August 23rd. Thank you as always for watching. This has been RICKY, the YouTube Tech Guy.